Welcome to the Pyramid Model Resource videos. Today's topic is ways to enhance emotional literacy in young children, and this is part one of a three-part series. These resource videos are brought to you by the Connecticut Office of Early Childhood and the Connecticut Pyramid Partnership. And today we'll be joined by Yola Barto from ECCP.
Hello, my name is Yola Borto. I'm a clinical child psychologist, and I work for the Early Childhood Consultation Partnership Program, ECCP, at Advanced Behavioral Health. ECCP is a strength-based infant and early childhood mental health consultation program developed to meet the social and emotional needs of children birth to 5 and is available statewide. ECCP consultants can help adult caregivers, including parents, guardians, teachers, directors, early child care staff, and family child care providers by partnering with them to help support the social emotional development of young children and strengthening positive relationships between caregiving adults. ECCP is proud to be a member of the Connecticut Pyramid Partnership State Leadership Team. I'm really happy to be here with you today as we think about some ways to enhance the emotional literacy among the children in your classroom. Before we jump into thinking about some strategies we might use in the classroom, I want to invite you to take a moment to reflect on your own early experiences and some of the messages you received about emotions as a young child. Think about the community you grew up in and the important people in your life, and some of the messages you received about emotions. Were there certain emotions that you were encouraged to talk about or not talk about as a young child? How did that affect you as a young child? And how might it still influence your life now as an adult? It's important to keep in mind that the way we make meaning of our experiences is heavily influenced by our culture, our values, and our beliefs. And so to hold that in mind when we seek to make meaning of the behavior of the children in the classroom, our own behavior, our interactions with our colleagues, our interactions with our families. It can be helpful as you're getting to know families in your classroom to open up a conversation about how do families express feelings at home and what are some things that are important to families about their child's social emotional development. Starting these conversations early can really open a door to being able to partner throughout the school year when you work together with families to support the child's social emotional development. Asking parents questions like, what's important to you when you think about your child's social emotional development can be a way to open the door, or even asking parents, how do you help your child express feelings? Or what do you do when your child expresses strong feelings at home? It can even be helpful to ask parents how they label feelings at home. Do they label strong negative feelings as angry or mad or grumpy or cranky or something else? It can help to have some common language between home and school. So that being kept in mind, I want to share with you some strategies you might use in your classroom to help enhance emotional literacy. One great way to teach children about anything, including feelings, is by using stories. So we can set up intentional moments of direct teaching where we introduce a child's story during circle time, for example, and go through and use the story to teach a lesson. So this book, Glad Monster, Sad Monster, is a wonderful interactive book to do that. If you're not familiar with that, let me quickly show you what it looks like inside. So there are these scenarios, and then there's this mask that you can tear out. You can even laminate so you get more use out of it. And children can take turns pretending they're the monster and talking about a time they might feel that way. So there's a scenario when the monster felt this way, and the child can put on the mask, and then they can tell you when they felt that way or when they might feel that way. And if you want to extend the learning, you might even tear the masks out and put them into the dramatic play area so children can continue exploring even after that particular lesson is done. Another great book to use in the classroom that's fun and interactive is On Monday When It Rained. The story is a little bit different, and the way that it's structured is there's a scenario that you can read to children and then pause and ask children to guess how the little boy felt. Once you have a few guesses, you can flip the page and read the feeling word and show them the photo of the child feeling that way. You might even extend the learning by having children turn to a partner and show that feeling face, or maybe tell a time where they have that feeling, depending on what your group might enjoy doing most. Another great story, one of my favorites to use with young children, is The Way I Feel by Jana Kane. And this story has lots of really beautiful illustrations throughout and different feelings. Here's the one in anger. There's a little description of the feeling in a sing-song way. It's a scenario that a child might have experienced. There's thankful, frustrated, and so on and so forth. Lots of different feelings in this story. It's a longer story, so you might not want to read the whole story to your group at one time, but you might highlight a few pages or a page, depending on what the children in your group are experiencing. The thing to keep in mind when we're using stories in the classroom, just like any other teaching we do, is we don't want the lesson to end after the storybook closes. We want to infuse the teaching throughout the day. And so that's where the indirect teaching comes into play. We want to take advantage of teachable moments as they arise through the classroom to make connections back to the story that we read, right? So maybe we see a child is feeling really frustrated later on in the day, and so we can reference back the story. It looks like you might be frustrated, just like when we read in the story. And so then you're making that connection and normalizing that it is okay to feel that way. We all feel that way sometimes. It's a really important message for children to get about feelings. Another thing that we can do in the classroom is take advantage of some of the transition times to maybe use feeling songs, like If You're Happy and You Know It. It could be something that we sing while we're waiting for children to finish up in the bathroom and we're lining up to go outside. Or maybe we might create some feeling games we play with children at small groups, like feelings bingo or even feelings matching, and engaging children in conversations about when they might have felt a particular way. Lots of fun ways we can teach about feelings in the classroom.
I wanted to just show you some of the resources that Yola was talking about and this wonderful way to use books to teach emotions in your classroom. So if you go to challengingbehavior.org, it brings you to the NCPMI website, and there you will click on the green resource tab, and that will bring you down to a search engine here. So let me show you. You go down, and if you put into the search engine Book Nook, you are going to find all of the different children's books that will help you teach a whole range of social emotional skills to children. So Yola told you about Glad Monster, Sad Monster, and when you click on that, you go to a page that actually gives you activities and ideas for all sorts of lessons about emotions. And she talked to you about what the book is about, but I just wanted to show you, these book nooks are so helpful. They give you music and movement activities, art activities, and literacy and writing activities to go along with a whole range of social emotional development ideas. And let's just look at some of the others. There's many different books that you probably already have in your classroom or are familiar with. Here's another one that Yola mentioned, On Monday When It Rained. And again, lots of different activities. So take advantage of these. They even give you little songs and finger plays you can do with the children, activities for cooking, art, and music and movement activities. So remember to look in the book nook and get a bunch of ideas that way. So that is a great resource for you. And we'll be seeing you again for session 2, where we will talk more about helping children learn how to understand their own emotions and to recognize emotions in others, and also teaching them ways to express their emotions in developmentally appropriate ways. So thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate all that you do to support children and families in Connecticut. See you next time.